Model Airplane Nationals of 1965, Willow Grove Naval Air Station, Pennsylvania, July 26 to August 1st. This film was produced by Bill Voss, CDAMA 19701. Our opening event is the speed event. Our first view is that of the Flushing Model Airplane Society under a canopy alongside of the speed circles. The boys are looking over their fuels, preparing their engines for flight. Here we have a view of Frank Garzone, Jerry Ellen, Walter Belmar. Flushing boys are preparing the ship for flight here. Starting the engine. It's off. And that's Frank Garzone in the center of the circle, running through a test flight. Here is a view of the contestants' ready line at the speed event. Here is where the fellas had all their planes and lines laid out, all pull tested. We pan in and catch a group of the fellas discussing some of the technical details of the coming flights. Here we watch another contestant get his plane off. Looks like he's having a little difficulty getting on the pylon. Now he finally made it. Look at the fancy footwork on this fella. Looks like he's doing a Mexican hat dance out there. Here we have some of the Flushing boys preparing for another flight. Tony Rispoldi you'll see on the pylon here. Look at the footwork on that man. This is what you call a fast stepper. And he's off the pylon again. There we switch to Frank Garzone. Now on the pylon. He's a long stepper. That's Craig Asher sitting on the ground there listening to Frank's plane with attack. And Frank is off the pylon once more. We find ourselves now in the radio control event. We will see some of the planes that were flown by the radio control contestants all during this week of the Nationals. Everything was flown from rudder only to multi-channel aircraft. Some beautiful airplanes were flown here. Here we have one coming in for a landing. Nice landing. Back in the sky again to watch another one. Looks like he's coming in for a landing. There he is, beautiful 3-point. Back in the air with another ship now. Here's a beautiful red and white job, ready to take off, down the runway. And he's up in the air, flying over the judge's tent. That was a hard one. Here is a view of the tent at which the contestants house their airplanes, but mainly their transmitters. They weren't allowed to have their transmitters for testing of any kind once they were on the flight line. Here comes a ship in for a landing. Oh, looks like he's having a little trouble. Eases it down, past the judge's line, and finally down. Back in the air again, a real sharp takeoff. Same man just came back in for a touch and go, and he's off again. Here we are going through a series of rolls. Up into an Immelman turn. The plane you're now seeing is Ed Kazmersky's 8-foot wingspan airplane that he had entered in this radio control event. This was a multi-channel job. He's going down the runway for a takeoff. Little power on, he lifts off. Nice climbing bird. Nice view of the underside of the airplane as he passes back over the flight line. Here we see him coming in for his touch and go. Beautiful 3-point landing. Down the runway again, power on, and up he goes. Ed going through a series of rolls. Into a series of loops. Now we have some outside loops. And back in for landing. Beautiful landing. Ed was unfortunate in this flight. His engine conked out just as he was returning to the hangar. Here's a close-up view of Ed's airplane. Stunt, precision aerobatics is the next event we will cover. We open the stunt portion of the film up with a view of the contestants' lineup, waiting for their flights. See a variety of airplanes here, all sizes, shapes, colors. The plane you're now viewing is Bob Gialdini's winning airplane. He flew this to first place in the open class. A nice close-up view of the front end of this airplane. Beautiful canopy and decal work. Here's a camouflage P-40 and an olive drab P-40. Both nice-looking ships. I believe this is D. Octavia's original. Now to watch some of the contestants put their airplanes through their paces. This contestant is already started in his pattern, doing a series of loops, and on into some horizontal eights. Here's a series of square horizontal eights. And a vertical 8. Notice that canopy down in the left-hand corner, how it's blowing. The wind was quite stiff on this particular day and was giving the contestants quite a bit of trouble in doing their patterns. Back with another contestant doing some loops. And into some horizontal 8s again. We will now leave the stunt event and we'll go into the free flight flying scale. We open the free flight flying scale with a view of the contestants' work hangar. This was the area in which the contestants worked all through the week on their airplanes. The workbenches were set up, plenty of room. We pan over and pick up a view of the concession where the contestants could buy supplies during the week. Here we have Mike. Hi, Mike. ends a real unsuccessful flight. And another. This one looks like it might be a success, though. This is one of those planes called a hovercraft. Slowly it moves away and flies off into the setting sun. The ship you now see is the Mechanics Illustrated. Real nice flying ship. This man had quite a bit of difficulty getting the engine started and getting things set up for his flight. But when he did, it turned out very well. He got the maximum time required. Real nice stable flight. This is C.O. Wright's Antoinette. Beautiful takeoff. Real stable ship. Mr. Wright took second place in the free flight flying scale event in the open class. All we can say at this point is shades of the magnificent men in their flying machines. This ends part one of the National Model Airplane meet at Willow Grove.